Well, let's bring in entertainment reporter David Kaplan. He's in New York for us. And a man who knows the highs and lows of being young, rich and in the spotlight. It's actor Corey Feldman. He's detailed his experience in his book, Choreography, and he joins me now from CNN Los Angeles. Hello to you both. Corey, let me start with you. You were, what, pretty mature by 19 years old. We'd seen you, we'd almost done you, and then you'd been married already by that stage as well. So listen, were you surprised to hear what had happened to Bieber today?
Well, I was surprised to hear it because at the end of the day, he's got such a squeaky clean image that, you know, you kind of go, wow, could this really happen to somebody like him? But as you mentioned, it is very detailed in my book. It can happen to anybody. Bottom line is, you know, it's a really topsy-turvy world, the entertainment business. And, you know, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure for all of us. But at the end of the day, you know, the one thing that people need to understand, and this isn't to say that, you know, I endorse his behavior, but I do want to say that, you know, people got to understand, you know, you got to give him a little bit of a break because at the end of the day, he's just a kid growing up. And, you know, we're all just kids growing up. And, you know, most kids have these problems. The only thing is that they're not in the spotlight. Yeah. It's not focused on them. It's not, you know, the whole world watching when somebody gets a hiccup in life.
And, David, the pressure, not least from the likes of me and you, who put him in the spot. I mean, he's in the spotlight, and then we write about him, of course. And, you know, there was this terrible, terrible sense from so many quarters that we build these kids up in order, to a certain extent, for them to fall, right?
Yeah, you know, absolutely. I mean, these kids are, you know, they're built up, you know, they have such high expectations. And I can tell you, having worked at the likes of People Magazine and TMZ, you know, I've been on the front lines. And, you know, in a weird way, you know, you are guilty about it. But at the same time, you know, just as much as there's many celebrities who do fall victim to this, like Justin Bieber, which is only temporarily, I don't think it's this massive deal. You know, there are others who managed to avoid it as well. But you know what? There was huge throngs of press waiting for him when he left the courthouse. And you know what? I was thinking, if there weren't all those people waiting for him and all the press, I bet he would be just as disappointed because he probably thrives on that.
He comes out of the courthouse, and let's run the video while we talk to Corey again. He comes out of the courthouse. He jumps on the top of his SUV. He smiles and waves to the throngs gathered at Corey, and then he disappears. Listen, you know, walk me through what's going on in the mind of this, as you suggest, a 19-year-old child who has grown up in the spotlight.
Well, I can tell you quite efficiently that I was 19 when I went through the exact same thing that he's going through. So I was literally 18 turning 19 years old. I got busted for having illicit drugs on me. And, you know, I didn't know what to do. I was heartbroken. To be completely honest with you, if I go back to that exact space and time, I was so disappointed in myself. I felt like I had totally let down all my fans. I had, you know, droves of kids, millions of kids all over the world who looked up to me, who wanted to hear what I had to say. And all I wanted to do was just cry and apologize to them because I felt like I was their hero, I was their idol, and I let them down. So I can only imagine what he's going through right now, and my heart is really aching for him. I feel really bad for Justin.
He needs a lot of support, doesn't he? Does he have it? I mean, you know, this is this is a group of a management group who've been around him since he was a wee teenager. You know, are they good enough? Are they strong enough at this point?
Well, you know, first of all, I don't know Justin. I've never met him in person, so I have no idea what kind of people he has around him. All I can tell you is generally, when you go through these types of problems and you're a celebrity, you usually have a support group that is yes men. They're people that are there just to tell you what you want to hear. And at this point, I think he's really going to need to toughen up. He's going to have to get out there, and he's going to have to say to the world, look, I am ready to change. And with that change, I am willing to put a whole new circle of people around me that are going to be a positive influence. They're going to tell me the truth and not just what I want to hear.
Yeah,
and
but
that's
is he going to listen?
He's going to have
Corey,
to get his life together now.
is he going to listen? Because we've all been 19 years old, and you remember it, I remember it, you know.
If he's ready for change, if he's ready to take the world and say, look, I realize that I've got to be humble. I've got to realize that I have a lot to learn about life because at 19, we still have a lot to learn. Hey, at my age, I still have a lot to learn. We all have a lot to learn or we'd be dead. So life is about continuous growth, continuous change. So if he's able to embrace the idea that now it's time to learn the next lesson in life and humble himself a bit, he'll be just fine.
David, final word.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, I think Justin Bieber, his camp is really concerned. I just have to add, you know, I spoke to someone in his camp earlier today, you know, who wanted to stay anonymous, saying that they're very concerned about him. They really do hope that he gets his help. And listen, he was partying with his dad last night, so I think he does have a bit of a shaky support system around him.